Hello, my friend. My name is PEtrovick, and for the past 25 years, I've been teaching, coaching, and training people how to create a better quality of life, primarily through the home-based business profession. You know, I live a lifestyle today that most people could only really dream about. But I have to tell you, it hasn't always been that easy. You know, my journey has had lots of ups and downs. I've learned a lot, made a lot of mistakes, and what I've discovered over the years is that sometimes we need to get advice. We need to get counsel from people who see things differently than we do, but have created the success that we want to create. Well, I've created this series called Prosperity and the Mentors. And you're going to be learning from some of the best marketers, thought leaders in our profession, no doubt about it. And I'm going to take you behind the curtain. We're going to have a conversation with these leaders, and you're going to figure out what they went through when they got stuck or when they had challenges, and how did they process through that. You're going to learn about their habits, their philosophies, their beliefs and tools, and the things that they did to create a massive quality of life, of prosperity and abundance. And it's what everybody wants. Now, I have to tell you, my guest today, I'm really excited about this woman. She's been in the network marketing profession now for 29 years. She started when she was 19 years old. But for her first 18 years, she only earned $20. That's called vision and persistent. Well, she was doing the corporate America thing as well. In 2007, she got laid off, and she had that defining moment. And that was the defining moment when she said, from this point forward, I am 100% unemployable, which I absolutely love that. So what did she do? She turned to YouTube, started learning online marketing, started making sales within about 6 months. She put her head down and started working towards replacing her corporate job income. Well, in 2012, she had her first six-figure year. And since then, she's been earning multiple six figures every single year and teaching people how to generate leads, how to make sales, how to recruit reps in the network marketing profession, affiliate marketing, and basically any entrepreneur who wants to go online to create the quality of life that she wants. Now, I got to tell you, she's one of the best trainers and marketers out there today. And I've seen a lot of them, and sometimes you get good marketers or good trainers. This woman is a combination of both, which is a real blessing to have this conversation. Who am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about the lovely and talented and international superstar, Lisa Torres. Lisa, thanks so much for being here today.
Well, thank you so much for that great introduction. I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. This is going to be fun.
It is going to be fun. You know, I just got to say thank you for being you, because I couldn't have that introduction without you being so awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Well, let's take our viewers a little bit behind the curtain, Lisa, and talk about your journey, because you have a journey that's very unique.
It is very unique. I'll take you back to when I was 19. We're talking about 29 years ago. Of course, I'm revealing my age here. But I was working. My mother passed away when I was 17 years old. And so I had to leave high school and kind of go get jobs and just, work on my own. So, yeah, so I got, when my mother died, she was actually an entrepreneur. She was an entrepreneur, and she was a hairdresser. Okay. And, she always worked from home. The little old ladies around the neighborhood used to come over, and they used to get their hair done. She was a hairdresser. She used to, I used to watch, she used to stand in the kitchen. She had, remember the phones with the cords on it? Yeah. She used to have the phone on the side of the kitchen cabinet. And she used to have her little appointment book there, making her appointments for the people to come and get their hair done. And inside of her master bedroom, we had a 2-bedroom apartment that I lived in for 35 years before I actually moved here to Atlanta. And so she had her bedroom set up as her little salon. So she had like 2 chairs, and on the dresser, she had like her hairsprays and brushes and all this. And she had a little chair with the blow dryer thing, that sits here. And I actually watched that growing up. And I always said to myself, I'm going to be an entrepreneur too. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll do hair. Who knows? I don't know what I was gonna do, but I know I'm gonna do something because she just inspired me to just want to be home with my family. She was there for me, raising me, working at her home business that she designed and created herself. And so that really inspired me. So I was introduced to network marketing at 19. I was invited to a home party, and they sold me on the dream. They sold me on, the idea of having freedom and not not having a boss and not being able to go to this 9 to 5 and the big luxurious houses and the cars and the money coming in and residual income. And I was just fascinated by the idea. And so I signed up right on the spot. Okay. And so for the first, of course I was working. So from that point on, 18 years fast forward, I only made $20. And of course I jumped around from company to company to company because I'm thinking, oh, this didn't work. Maybe it was the products, maybe it was me, maybe it was the company, maybe it was the leaders, maybe it was this, maybe it was that, right? I blamed everything and everyone for my failures. So the only reason why I made $20 during the 18 years was because a friend purchased one of my products for me because she felt bad for me. That was the only reason why. And so when I got laid off in 2007, it was, they called me into HR, and it was such a relief because I was looking for a way out, but I knew that I couldn't quit my job because if I did, then I wouldn't qualify for unemployment. Now, if I don't have money coming in, what am I going to do? So for me, I basically took advantage of that moment of being unemployed and collecting unemployment. And so what I did was when I started collecting unemployment, and by the way, this was when, I don't know if you remember this back then, when they they extended the unemployment period to 2 years.
Wow.
I don't remember exactly why they did that, but it was that very moment, like a few months, maybe like a month or two after I got laid off, they extended unemployment. And so I was able to ride out that unemployment for 2 whole years. And during that time, what I did was I did odd stuff. I started dressing up as a clown and doing children's parties. I started doing children's events, like planning the events. My husband took our SUV and he started going cabbing and, picking people up from the train stations in New York and taking them home. And, we created a cab service. I started watching children from my daughter's school. I would pick them up and, I had like 3 or 4 little girls that I would watch after school. And so it was all these little odd jobs, or they weren't really jobs, they were opportunities to make money and to make ends meet. And so I just took advantage of all of that, and because I knew that there's more than one way to make money.
Right.
You just have to think creatively and ask yourself, what kind of skill sets do I have right now while I'm building my business in order to pay the bills? I needed to create the minimum amount, and that was to pay the bills. If I could do that, then I was good. And so, when I turned to YouTube for 6 months, no sales, right? But I kept going, I kept pushing, I kept doing the videos. I was showing up daily. I was literally doing a video every single day. And by the time that 6 month hit mark, the 6 month hit, I made my first sale on automation, like on autopilot. And because I had my link in the description, and I was like, oh my God, like that was like light bulb moment for me. And so from that point on, I was just like, this is it. This is it. Because if I can reach people all across the globe without leaving my house, this is like music to my ears. Because when I was doing the offline stuff and doing networking events and home parties and things like that, none of that stuff worked for me. And I'm not saying that it doesn't work. I'm just saying that it didn't work for me. And for some people, we're not cut from that cloth. So right. It may not work, right? But for me, networking with people all across the world on social platforms, our first one was YouTube. All right. So that was like my aha moment when I realized that, and we only had YouTube and MySpace at the time. Twitter wasn't around, Facebook wasn't around, none of the social platforms were around, just YouTube and MySpace. And I took full advantage of both of those platforms.
I love it.
You told the story, so you know
yeah. So you went really from one sales that planted the seed to earning millions of dollars online, which is fantastic. So let me ask you this question, Lisa. Today, where you're at, how would you define prosperity?
So prosperity to me, I look at it as, I'm going to talk to the people that are just getting started. Okay. I'm going to talk as if I'm going to share my thoughts on prosperity from when I first got started and when I actually replaced my income. Mm-hmm. Most people who are just getting started in this industry, they have this mindset of, I'm not going to quit my job until I'm making $10,000 a month. And really, you don't have to do that. What you need to do is figure out exactly what are all your expenses. What are all your expenses? Because if you can create enough money to pay all of your bills, your business expenses, auto ship, mortgage, car note, like everything that you have in your expenses, if you could just focus on what that number is and work towards creating a residual income that, that can pay all of that off every single month, you've now created freedom in your life. And to me, that's prosperity. To me, that's prosperity. At the very bare minimum, that's what people need to focus on. So if you're making $3,000 a month, let's say at your job, and that's what's paying all your bills right now, then your number one focus should be, let me get to $3,000 a month in my business so I can leave my job, so that I could, feel prosperous when I get there, because now I don't have to, go to a job. I don't have to wake up anymore, in the mornings anymore, early, getting on the express bus, going into traffic, listening to somebody, dealing with people that you don't really care for every day in the office, and all that kind of stuff that comes with having a job. And again, I'm not saying that jobs are terrible, because there's a lot of people that love their jobs, and that's great, because somebody's got to do the job, right? But prosperity to me is really that first step in creating your income or replacing your income with your job. Focus on that first number then, because when you have that freedom that comes with not having a job, oh, forget it. Forget it. Forget it. Yep. Sky is the limit at that point.
Yeah. Over the years, has there been a book, Lisa, or an item that you find yourself giving to people to help inspire them?
One of the books that I absolutely love is called Personality Plus. Personality Plus. And here's why. I give it to my coaching clients all the time. I give it away, when I was doing network marketing, I gave it away to my new members. But this is what the book is about. See, every individual has their own personality. We know them as red personalities, or water signs, or all the earth signs, or stones. Like, there's so many different labels for the type of personalities that each individual has. We all have this, we're grouped into different personalities. And what I love about this book is, when you read this book, they give you like a test. You can do it online. They show you how to do the test in the beginning of the book. But what it does is it allows you to understand the personalities so that you can speak to the person accordingly. So let me give you an example. Let's use the yellow personality as an example. The yellow personality is the type of person who likes to donate their time, and they're like always like giving, and they just want to, they're into charities and things like that. Well, they're not going to be motivated by me telling them, hey, you want to go make some money? Let's go make some money. That's not going to motivate them. What's going to motivate them and inspire them and get them, push them into action is saying, hey, let's go start this movement. Let's go do this or this or that to help this group of people. That's what's going to fire them up. So if you want to build a very, very successful business, get that book, because when you learn the personality types of your team members, you're going to learn how to inspire them more, because there's going to be team members that are not motivated by money. There's going to be team members that are motivated by money, like red personalities, that are not motivated by donating to charity and doing these big movements and stuff like that. So you have to treat everybody accordingly, and that book is going to teach you. Awesome.
Great tip. Has there been a purchase in the last 6 months that you've made for $100 or less, Lisa, that has had a positive impact on your life in some way?
$100 or less?
Yep.
In the last 6 months, probably a book. And it was an audio book. And the audio book is called Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits. Definitely a book to check out. Atomic Habits. I forgot the name of the author, but it's really good. It's an audio book. You can get it on audiobook, app or whatever.
All right, let's shift the conversation a little bit towards business success and money. Has there been a time, and I'm pretty sure there is for you, especially with your story, where you struggled with prosperity or abundant thinking? And if so, when you were in that place, how did you deal with it from a headspace, and how did you push past it?
Yes. To answer your question, absolutely. And I don't think there is anybody in the world who has it. We're all human. We have this thing with us where we always have to compare ourselves with other people, and we're always looking at other people and thinking, what are they doing and why are they doing that they have, so much success, or, why when they do a Facebook Live, they get thousands of people watching, or why when they upload a YouTube video, they have 1,000 views in 5 minutes, right? And then we look at those people, and it does something to us psychologically where it causes some kind of depression. And I know I've experienced that too. I don't know about you, Terry, but I've experienced that in the past. So we have to first stop the comparison game, because it can kill the momentum in your business. That's first and foremost. That, to me, that was because I had this huge thing with me where I was comparing myself to others. And every time I did that, I felt, I don't know if it was depressed or low self-esteem, or I don't know what it was, but I needed to figure out, how do I get over that? And the best way that I knew how to get over that is YouTube videos. And, typing in specific keywords to deal with, or, even personal development books to deal with the emotions that we are going through, to deal with the things that we're thinking about, even maybe creating your own inner circle of other leaders that you can share your thoughts with, and you guys can help each other out and things like that. So just whatever you're dealing with, don't deal with it alone.
Right.
Don't deal with it alone. And understand that you are not alone, because whatever it is that you're thinking and the mindsets, that's stopping you from getting to the next level, there's other people thinking that way. But there's also strategies, tools, resources, people, books, audios, videos that you can tap into to help you get over those negative thoughts.
Has there been a failure or maybe a mistake that you made at some point that later set you up for success?
Yes. And the first one that comes to my mind is when I first got started. For the first few years, I didn't use an autoresponder in my business. If I started my business using an autoresponder in my business back when I first got started, my list would be so humongous right now. And if you are trying to build your business on the internet, you gotta start building your list. Let me give you an example. So I've been building my list now for, let's see, I've been online for 11 years now. I would say probably 7 or 8 years I've been using an autoresponder. And just think about this for a second. Let's say you have, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 100,000 people on your email list from all over the world. Wouldn't it be amazing to send an email, a click of a button? You write an email, click of a button. If you have a promotion or something going on, a new product or something, a new launch of a product or anything like that, click of a button, boom, it goes out to everybody. Where else can you do that? Nowhere else can you send out a blast, for free where all of the people that are following you can actually see your offer. So for me, my biggest mistake was not getting started with an autoresponder sooner.
Awesome. Okay. As you've created your success over the years, Lisa, has meditation or visualization played a role for you?
Absolutely. I think it was, okay, so I remember 2012, I created my first six-figure year. 2011, I started a vision board. Okay. And I had my house on there, and I had my car on there, and I had the vacations I wanted to take. And I had this, the spas that I wanted to go to every weekend. And I had this and that. And I had an ad budget on there, like very detailed stuff I had on this physical vision board, things that I cut out that I saw like in magazines, on the internet, or whatever, literally a vision tangible board. And I had that on my wall. And the whole year that I was building my business, all I kept visualizing was me having those things, creating a $10,000 per month income, buying that house and whatever. So that first year, of course, I didn't get my house and I didn't get my car, but I did create the six-figure income. But I did in September 2017. So it's a little over a year now. I built my house from scratch here in Atlanta, Georgia. In 2016, I paid for my Mercedes-Benz in cash. All of that was on the vision board. And all I did was I kept that vision in front of me, and I worked towards that vision and accomplishing those goals every single day.
I love it. I love it. That's powerful stuff right there. What advice would you give to somebody, Lisa, who maybe is stuck financially? Maybe they think they're too old. Technology is too overwhelming. They can't change their future. They've tried network marketing or tried to, have a business of some kind, and they just didn't really have success.
Start with the mindset, because I think success is really here. Going back to the comparison game again, for me, that was a huge one. I used to compare myself to people all the time, and it used to send me back into this like dark hole. For me, that was it. And for you, you guys watching this video right now, it may be something else, right? But for me, that was my thing. I don't know what your thing was, Terry, but for me, it was the comparison game. Which is the reason why there's a lot of celebrities who suffer from depression, because they're always comparing themselves to other celebrities who are doing bigger things. I mean, it's just a normal thing. We just have to learn to get over it. But I think if you want to create success, it really starts here. And that's number one. So work on your mindset. Number two is to get somebody like a coach or somebody to guide you and tell you what you need to do in, the first steps that you need to do in order to, get to that first goal. Let's say to replace your job income, for example, or whatever your goals are. So that's what I would say. Work on your mindset. That should be like your top priority is your mindset. And number two, getting a coach.
Okay. So if somebody is feeling somewhat alone, overwhelmed, maybe they lost a life partner, a job, they simply don't have the financial abundance to maybe hire a coach, they think, and to create the quality of life that they want. They think their life is dim. They about ready to throw in the towel. What advice would you give that person?
Think of my story when you're about to do that. Think about how I struggled for the first 18 years and only made $20 at that time. And then think about where I'm at right now. Right? Because my mindset was all jacked up back then too. It was a work in progress. And as long as you're willing to stick that out, see, for me, it wasn't an option. Creating success wasn't an option. I didn't care how long it took. It took me from what year was that? 1989 to 2012 to create my first $100,000 a year. So think about, your family. Think about your kids. Think about how important it is for you to keep moving forward to achieve those goals that you have, because how is it going to impact them? And it works twofold. If you quit, how is it going to impact them? What kind of example are you setting for your family, your kids, if you quit? Think about those things, right? So yeah.
Yeah, and I remember reading your story on your blog, and it's doing the work, staying up late, and doing whatever it takes to figure these things out. And it's a process. Everybody's got their own journey. Everybody's got their own process. But
yes,
you got to have that vision. You have to put forth the effort in.
Yes, and also keeping it simple, I think, because a lot of people, what they do is they're looking at what everybody else is doing. And they're saying, oh, Terry's, doing, let's say, videos every single day. So that means I have to do videos every single day. Or Lisa is, going on Facebook Live every single day. So I have to go on Facebook Live every single day. Or Lisa created a course, and that means I have to. No, right? It doesn't. That's not the way it works. The way that it works is you have to figure out what you like, work on. We have strengths and we have weaknesses. And I believe that we should be focusing on strengthening our strengths. You could work on the weaknesses later, but the strengths is what's going to move you to where you need to be faster, I think.
Right.
I think, because it takes time for you to work on your weaknesses. If you're working on your strengths, that strength is already there. All you're doing is just making it better, sharpening that axe, if you will.
Let's say somebody buys into all this prosperity stuff, personal development stuff. They bought a couple year courses. They got the dream board. They get excited for a little while, and then they go back to their old habits. How does somebody rewire their brain or rewire their habits, Lisa, if you will, to really make that decision and have that defining moment to create whatever it is that they want for themselves and their family?
If they haven't read Think and Grow Rich, they need to go to read Think and Grow Rich. That's number one. And I don't care if you've read it before, go read it again, because every time you read it, there's always some more nuggets. You should be reading that book at least once a year. Okay? Because there's always some nuggets that you can pull out from it. Also, another thing that I would recommend is that if these are all network marketers, so obviously you are in a company who has a whole entire network of people. So connect and put yourself in a room, if you will. We'll call the internet a room. Put yourself in that space where there's other successful people, and maybe people who are not as so successful, but maybe they are pushing towards those goals. Get inspired by other people. Hang out. Like, who are you hanging out with?
Right.
Who are you hanging out with? You need to hang out with the people that are going to be there to lift you up. Right? You need to involve yourself in communities that where you can actually, maybe even find an accountability partner in your same company. Maybe you guys are on the same level and you're trying to reach, whatever that next goal. There's always, I believe that people are probably, it's best to surround yourself with people who are doing better than you versus staying in that little hole by yourself, or worse, hanging out with people that aren't doing anything.
Right.
They're not doing anything to move forward in their life. You don't want to be around those toxic people. You want to be around people that are there to lift you up. Go to events, right? Hang out with, get closer to the people inside of your community, in your company. Ask questions, right? Show up and do the work every day. If you show up and do the work every day without fail, you are bound to start getting results. And I think you need to work on your value and figure out who your target audience is. You have a product. So whether it's health and wellness, makeup, skincare, vitamins, whatever it is, you have a product that can help someone with a problem. So figure out who is that audience. If you were to hold, here's a paperweight right here. It's a little diamond paperweight. If this was my network marketing product, my question is that I would ask myself is, what group of people can this product help?
Right.
What group of people can this product help? Okay. And when you ask yourself that question, as a matter of fact.
Okay, let's shift the conversation to some lighter questions. Let's say you had the ability to send everybody around the world, Lisa, a text message tomorrow morning about prosperity and abundance and how they could create it. What would that text message say?
Wow. All right. Ask me that question one more time. Let me wrap my head around that.
So you have an opportunity to send everybody a text message about how they can create more prosperity and abundance in their life.
Mm-hmm.
What would the message say?
Two words. Show up. Show up. Because the reason why I would send those 2 words, show up, think about this for a second. Let's say someone who got that message right now was thinking in their mind, I don't feel like doing this today. This thing is not working out. I'm ready to throw in the towel. But they got a message from me, and they know who I am, that said, show up. It will do some kind of shift, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
It will do some kind of shift. So it didn't have to be like this whole long message about why you need to do that. No, sometimes people just need a little simple push, a little simple message to get them from where they're thinking at right now, where their mindset is right now, to thinking in a different way. Sometimes that's all it takes.
That's powerful stuff right there.
Yeah.
In the last 5 years, Lisa, has there been a new belief or behavior that you've adopted or maybe improved upon that has enhanced your overall prosperity and quality of life?
Oh, absolutely. 2 words. You ready for it?
Yep.
Systems and processes. Systems and processes. When I look at a lot of people that are building their businesses right now, they have no systems in place and they have absolutely no process in place, no actual daily method of operation that they're following on a consistent basis. They're just all over the place. They're just oh, let me go here and do this, and let me do this, and let me try this, and let me go here, and let me do this. They're not see, when I show up in my business every day, I'm using systems, and I have a process that I follow every single day. I have a daily process, I have a weekly process, I have a monthly process, and I have a yearly process. So you need to figure out, just understand that you don't have to be everything to everyone. You don't have to be all over the place. You just need to figure out what your process is. So let me give you an example. Can we give them an example?
Sure.
Okay. So for me, let's say one of my processes is I'm shooting, and I don't know if you know this, Terry, if you noticed, but I just started a brand new podcast called the Profitable Marketer Podcast. I just called a Profitable Marketer Podcast. Before, what I was doing videos all the time, videos. But for me, remember when we talked about focus on your strengths? Okay. My strengths has always been to do Facebook Live videos. I could do a Facebook Live video and just flow. But for some weird reason, the moment that I turn on my camera on my cell phone, okay, and I put it on that stand and I start talking, I mess up. I just can't help it. It's been like this since I started YouTube in 2007. I always have to take it and retake it and retake it and retake it. And it takes me so long to do it. And for so long, I've been procrastinating on starting a podcast because I know for me that, because I do, wake up calls and all that stuff. I know for me, that's my strength. It comes naturally to just start talking. For some reason, I don't know what it is about the camera, but it does something to me when I'm speaking to it. So I said, you know what? In 2018, I need to eliminate this thing. I know that I'm not good with pre-recorded videos. I suck at it. So what can I do to make this process get better? So I said, here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to record my podcast moving forward in 2018. But I still want to do videos. I still want to do the videos. So instead of doing this whole long out video, I'm going to do the whole long podcast. But now I'm going to create like a short, 2 or 3 minute video that talks about the topic, but that pushes people to the blog to listen to the podcast.
There you go. Yep.
That's my process. That's my new process. So I have my video on YouTube that tells them click the link below, that takes them to my podcast on my blog where they can listen to the podcast. And then from there, I'm giving call to actions. And then from there, I'm building my list. And then from there, I'm running retargeted ads. And then from there, I'm also promoting ads on Facebook to get new leads. And then from there, my other process is have my assistant share it out on all social media platforms in all different kinds of ways. That's my process.
Right. That's awesome. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, here's a fun question for you. Is there an unusual habit or thing that you love?
An unusual habit or things, I bite my nails. But I don't love that. I actually have to get a manicure and start getting my nails done again. But a habit or things that I love. Okay, I have a habit of waking up in the morning and doing this. I got to start my day off right.
Yeah.
This is, carrot, celery, apple, all good stuff in here. I got to get my energy levels up in the morning. That's a habit. You said the things that I love also?
Yeah, just something that, it's unusual about you, a quirky thing.
I love Cardi B.
I love it.
I love her personality. I love that she doesn't give a damn what anybody thinks about her. I love to laugh. I love to watch comedy. I love to watch funny videos. I think that when you watch comedy and funny videos, it just changes your whole everything. So if you're feeling down in the dumps, go catch a comedy show somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Over the years, has there been a mantra that you've repeated to yourself often?
You can do it. No one's stopping you. You can do it. No one is stopping you. Who's stopping you? Who?
I love it.
Who stop? Nobody's stopping me from doing anything. Everything that I've created around me, this house, the car, the money, the team, the customers, the followers, all of that, I created. So whatever you can think about, whatever you could envision in your mind, right? You have total control of creating that lifestyle for yourself. Total control. You just have to put the work and show up every day.
There you go. That's
why we're going to go back to that text message blast to everybody. Show up.
There you go. Well, Lisa, I just want to say thank you for showing up and just sharing so much wisdom. I mean, you've got such a wide background and you've done the work. You've created the massive success. How can people connect with you if they want to learn more about you and what you do?
Sure. The best place is my blog at lisatorresspeaks.com. Or you can just find me on social media. You just type in Lisa Torres Instagram or Lisa Torres Facebook on Google. You'll find me. But lisatorresspeaks.com, that's where my blog is. That's where the podcast is. You can find me there.
Lisa, thank you so much again for your time today. And my friend watching, I know you got some value out of this interview. Hopefully you can watch it again. If you want to watch more interviews like this, just go to terrypetrovick.com/mentors. And remember this, my friend, you have a choice. Make it a better than terrific day and a prosperous one because you absolutely deserve it. Until next time, bye-bye for now.